When we talk about quarterback greatness, we usually talk about numbers, passing yards, touchdowns, Pro Bowls, even MVPs. All the stuff that looks amazing on paper. But the NFL has never cared about what's on paper. It cares about January, and for some quarterbacks, even the great ones, the playoffs were where all that regular season magic disappeared. Today, we're counting down 10 quarterbacks in NFL history who were great in the regular season, but never quite got it done in the playoffs. These aren't bad quarterbacks. These are legends, Pro Bowlers, MVPs, and franchise heroes who just couldn't get over the hump when it mattered most. Let's get into it. Number 10, Dave Krieg. Dave Krieg is one of the most quietly productive quarterbacks in NFL history. Nearly 40,000 career passing yards, multiple playoff appearances, and 3 Pro Bowls with the Seattle Seahawks. But when the calendar flipped to January, the wheels got a little shaky. Krieg went 3-6 in the postseason, and turnovers were his kryptonite. Some of his best Seahawk teams were derailed by multiple interception games, mistimed fumbles, and those classic moments where he'd spin away from a pass rusher only to run right into another one. Great regular season quarterback, fun to watch, but his playoff resume never matched the numbers. Number 9, Vinny Testaverde. If longevity counted as playoff success, Vinny Testaverde would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. This man played 21 seasons. He threw for over 46,000 yards, and he started games in 4 different decades. But his postseason resume? Not so timeless. Testaverde went 2-6 in the playoffs, and accuracy issues always seem to show up in the biggest moments. Whether it was Cleveland, Baltimore, New York, or Carolina, his teams always hit a ceiling in January. He could keep you competitive all year long, just not deep into the playoffs. Number 8, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is a textbook example of a quarterback who thrived in the regular season but completely deflated in the postseason. From 2011 to 2014, Dalton led the Bengals to 4 straight playoff appearances. Cincinnati was talented, no doubt, loaded on defense, and coached well enough to win in January. But in the playoffs, Dalton went 0-4, never threw a touchdown pass, and put up a rough 1-6 touchdown to interception ratio. It wasn't all his fault. Injuries, bad timing, and some chaotic games didn't help, but the numbers don't lie. He was good enough to get you there, just never good enough to get you through. And hey, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to Pro Kickoff US for more NFL history every week. Alright, back to the list. Number 7, Danny White. This one feels harsh because Danny White was a very good quarterback. He took over for Roger Staubach, one of the toughest gigs imaginable, and he kept the Cowboys competitive for nearly a decade. The problem? He could never take them back to the Super Bowl. From 1980 to 1982, the Cowboys reached 3 straight NFC Championship games, and they lost all 3 of them. White was solid, athletic, and productive in the regular season, but January kept stopping him at the same exact place. He wasn't bad, he just lived in the shadow of someone who was impossible to replace, and never had the signature playoff moment to escape it. Number 6, Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers might be the best quarterback ever to never reach a Super Bowl. He had everything you want in a franchise quarterback: durability, fire, accuracy, leadership, and more trash talk than anyone in NFL history. But the postseason? That was always complicated. Rivers went 5-7 in the playoffs, and several of those losses came with teams talented enough to go all the way. The 2006 Chargers in particular were a powerhouse, 14-2 with Rivers, LT at his peak, and a loaded defense, and they lost at home in their first game. It wasn't all his fault, but Rivers' playoff legacy never came close to matching his regular season greatness. Number 5, Tony Romo. Tony Romo might be the most debated quarterback of his era. Some people swear he was elite, others think he was overrated, but everyone agrees on one thing: his playoff resume is thin. Romo finished his career 2-4 in the postseason, and unfortunately, the moments people remember aren't his best ones. The dropped hold in Seattle, the late interceptions, the close but not quite years where Dallas had the talent but couldn't break through. To be fair, Romo is often carrying flawed teams, but the postseason is all about results, and he never had the deep run that could have changed his entire reputation. Number 4, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had one of the cleanest careers of any quarterback in the last 20 years. MVP season, multiple Pro Bowls, accurate passer, leader, stable presence. The guy checked every box you could want. But he'll always be tied to one number, 28-3. Ryan's playoff record sits at 4-6, and while he had some fantastic individual games, the signature moment of his postseason career is the biggest collapse in Super Bowl history. It's unfair to pin everything on him. Plenty of things went wrong, but when you're the quarterback, the legacy sticks to you. Ryan was great enough to win a Super Bowl. His teams just never finished the job. Number 3, Y.A. Tittle. Now we go old school. Y.A. Tittle was one of the first great passers in NFL history. He was the league MVP. He set passing records, and he helped modernize the way quarterbacks attack defenses. But the playoffs? Those were a different story. Tittle went 0-4 in the postseason, including 3 straight losses in the NFL championship game. And the most famous moment of his career? A heartbreaking photo of him kneeling in the end zone, helmet off, blood on his face, after a brutal 14-0 loss to the Bears. He was a legend, no doubt about that, but January never loved Y.A. Tittle back. Number 2, Warren Moon. Warren Moon is one of the purest throwers of the football the sport has ever seen. If you built a perfect deep ball quarterback in a lab, it would look like Warren Moon. But his playoff record, 3-7, with some truly painful losses. The most infamous was the 1992 meltdown against Buffalo. Moon and the Oilers went up 35-3, only to lose in overtime in the biggest comeback in NFL history. Moon could sling it with anyone, but when the postseason arrived, the magic faded, usually in spectacular fashion. Number 1, Dan Marino. Dan Marino is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever touch a football. Some people still argue he's the most talented pure passer of all time. He threw 48 touchdowns in 1984, a number that looked impossible for decades after. He broke almost every passing record that existed. He made the Dolphins relevant for 17 straight seasons. But even with all of that, his playoff resume is tough to defend. Marino went 8-10, reached only 1 Super Bowl, and in that game he got crushed, 38-16 by the 49ers. He never made it back, not once. And that's the story of Dan Marino's career. A player who did everything right, everything brilliantly, everything historically, except win in January. Regular season greatness is one thing, but the NFL has always been about what you do when the lights are brightest. Some of the quarterbacks on this list were good, some were great, some were even legends. But for all of them, the playoffs were the one thing they could never conquer. Thanks for watching Pro Kickoff US. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know which quarterback you think should have made the list. See you on the next one.